This morning around 5 a.m., just before 5 a.m. I guess, we were sitting just behind where you are here on Highway 6 at the main entrance to the occupation. We're sitting around the fire. There's only a very small number of people, about 4 or 5 people sitting up at that time. I had my back to the road, and all of a sudden the guy sitting across from me who's doing the security started calling in on the radio that the cops were there. But so I turned around, and it was unbelievable. The police were absolutely all up and down this road. They had off-road vehicles that were going across the field that were like already on the land, speeding across, and they'd come in the big, large, like 12-seater extended vans, and the police were just pouring out of them and right onto the land. No hesitation, no warning, anything. The people that were there immediately moved to the road. They were told, the police basically just walked. They said, you gotta leave, or you're gonna be under arrest, and immediately just grabbed them.
What were the police armed with?
The police had their guns out. They had tasers. They were repeatedly saying, don't resist, you're gonna be tased, but the people had made it clear that this is their land, and they weren't going. They had no intention of leaving, so people didn't leave. People, I believe, I can't say with any total certainty, but I believe people were tasered. They had tear gas cannons pointed at people, and live ammo guns pulled out.
Are these handguns, or there's been reports of machine guns?
Yeah, they had automatic weapons pulled out, some of the cops. So basically, immediately the four or so people that were at the front were immediately taken down, overwhelmed. There was probably about 10 cops for each guy. I took off running along the tent line, waking people up, because there's quite a few people sleeping. I was running and trying to get people up. By the time I got down to where the teepee is, the last tent, the cops had already basically completely surrounded this front campsite. They were in their off-road SUVs, chasing people who were in cars. A lot of people started heading to the back of the area. In cars, the police were cutting them off, trying to run them into the ditches, chasing them all over the place. I began to head back towards the front. I was confronted with the police. They had their guns drawn. They just said, to me, and for fairly obvious reasons, that I'm clearly non-native, I'm clearly white. They basically, with their guns pulled at me, said, just keep walking to the road. And I can tell you they did end up getting some people that were in the RV and in the tents, and there was several of us that walked off the land without getting arrested, and there was definitely not a single native among us. So that speaks for itself, I think. And after that, I saw people were laid out on the ground for quite a long time, very clearly quite injured, quite beat up. The police themselves are saying that they used a lot of force in taking people down, and like the police presence was just totally overwhelming.
And this is all happening at night, or is it at dawn?
Before daybreak, just before daybreak, 5 a.m. or so, and totally without warning. Like, it was literally 1 second was completely calm. The next minute, the police were absolutely everywhere all at once. And about 10 minutes later, maybe even less, 5 minutes later, it's hard to judge the time, it was over. The police had taken over this entire campsite. Of course, it wasn't actually over, but...
How did people get it? People got it back sometime after that?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to us, because we were stuck here on this road, and then eventually we were pushed back here to basically where you can see the TV trucks and whatnot. From there, it looked like the police